All started with a washing machine. Back in 1982, I'd already been married 17 years. I had 4 children. And my wife came to me one day and said, "Honey, the washing machine is broke. Would you buy me a new one?" And I said, "No, we can't afford it." We argued. We continued arguing. We went to bed mad that night. And I remember, like it was yesterday, I woke up in the middle of the night and I said to myself, what an idiot. What an idiot. Married 17 years and you can't even buy your wife a new washing machine to wash your clothes with. It bothered me to the point where I got up the next morning and I made the conscious decision right then and there, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. At that time I was working in a service station. Even though I was managing it, I was barely making a living. And that's when I started looking and I found an ad that said, "Come learn how to buy real estate with no money or credit." That appealed to me because I had neither of those. And I went down to check it out, and even though I had no experience and I didn't understand most of what I was hearing, I picked up one thing that I did understand, and it wasn't 3 weeks after that seminar that I picked up my first check for $3,000. And as I look back, I almost didn't go to that seminar because J.R. Ewing, Dallas, was on TV that night, and he was my hero. And I didn't have TiVo, I couldn't tape it. So it was a hard decision for me. I mean, it's funny now, but it was a hard decision then. Something compelled me to go, and how many times do you think I've asked myself since, what if I'd have watched JR that night and hadn't went to that seminar? What would I be doing today?
Well, good afternoon and welcome back. Hope you had a great evening. I hope I gave you something to think about yesterday. Today's subject is going to be finding deals. And in the process, you're going to get introduced to our new Dreams Pro system, which is totally going to change the business as far as I see it going forward in several ways. I have beside me here Mr. Adil Kayati. He is my partner in the real estate business and he's an acquisitionist. So he's the one that does all the work. I get all the money and all the glory. Now look at him. Look at him. If he can do this, why can't you do it? Does he look all that smart to you over there? Okay, so anyway, Adil, why don't you tell him a little bit about your backstory, and we're going to get right to work here today on finding deals.
Yeah, I originally in the restaurant business, originally from Texas. When the restaurant business, my dad worked for Denny's Corporation for 30 years and worked his way through from a cook to become an owner one day, actually. And we acquired a couple of restaurants there in Abilene, Texas. I saw someone here in the chat yesterday saying they're from Abilene. I said, that's crazy. So yeah, it's out West Texas. We took 1, built to 3, grew to 11 to here in Jacksonville, and was struggling the whole time and putting out fires and working long hours. And COVID, even though it was a bad thing that happened to the world, it was probably one of the better things that happened in my life because that got me out of the restaurant business and led me here. So
yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So yeah, we sold it a couple years ago, and I met you right around that time we were selling. It's coming up on 2 years now in December.
Yeah, it is.
And been with you since, and doing some wholesale, some rehab, some creative. Got into the mentoring, coaching space now. So just
So are you saying that opening a restaurant is not how you get rich in America?
That's not how you get rich in America. That is for sure.
You start with plenty of money.
Yeah.
I had 6 restaurants just for y'all's information. Last one was called Iggy's Grill and Bar. And I had 2 restaurants called, one of them was a LeGrand's Alaskan Steak and Seafood in Myrtle Beach, and the other one was down here just called LeGrand's. And honestly, I didn't make any money in the restaurant business. In fact, I lost money in the restaurant business. But to be fair, I wasn't really in the restaurant business. The problem with my restaurants was the owner, and I'm not like one of these franchises that's been working a long time putting the system together and then got all of the delegation and all that the systems in place to make it run. But I can tell you, I eat in a few restaurants that I might not mind owning yet again, but there's a lot more behind the scenes than you see by eating at them. I can tell you that.
Yep.
So some people are making really good money at it, but it's mostly the franchises that started with money and didn't run out before they got the thing fixed. In fact, that's exactly what happens in the restaurants. You see them folding all the time.
Yep.
And the biggest problem is they come in undercapitalized, and they have no idea how to market, how to get people to come to the restaurant. They really don't. So anyway, I'm probably not going to have another restaurant as long as I live, but who knows? Who knows? I'm not going to say no.
You sure?
Yeah.
I still say the same thing. I say, well, if the opportunity comes across, I know enough about them, but I don't know. No, thanks.
Hard work,
Yeah.
very little money.
Yeah.
And most of the restaurants you see out there, we can flip one wholesale house and make more than they net
Easy.
an entire year.
Yep.
And that's sad. That is sad, actually. I
Yeah.
mean, you should feel glad. But I see all these entrepreneurs out there and all these brick and mortar business, they're working their ass off, and it's their life. They get sucked into it. They don't even have a life. And why? Or you get into any business, you should ask yourself, why am I doing this? And what's the reality? What I expect to make? That's what I like about real estate, actually. Okay. I told you yesterday, I had my last restaurant, I had $100,000 a month that I had to gross before I ever made a penny. And there are many months that I didn't gross 100 grand. So I had to stroke a check like all owners do.
Yep.
And our overhead there was 100 grand. And if we more than broke even, believe me, it wasn't very much money every month. And in fact, the months that I made more than broke even didn't even offset the months that I had to write a check. So I was happy to get out of my last one. I owned it for 4 years. And one of my customers come up to me one day and asked me if I wanted to sell a restaurant. First, I thought he was a plant or he's joking or something, but just as it turns out, 3 months later, he was the owner of my last restaurant. He's been there over 5 years now, losing money every year or breaking even. How do we get on the subject anyway? Oh, I know you brought this up.
Yeah.
Okay. But your parents sold off all the restaurants and they're done. They're done.
Yeah. And surprisingly, you say that. My dad yesterday or over the weekend we were talking. He said, "I've never in my life been so relaxed. I've never in my life," he said, because he's been in the restaurants for 40, 50 years. Long time. Most of his life was the restaurants. He said, "I've never felt so good in my life." I said, "Me too."
I can see why it's extremely hard to make money in a Denny's. Food is so cheap to sell. I don't know how you can make money.
And we're at the same loss you were at, 110,000 a month. You'd have to just to break even in Denny's, and then we're selling pancakes for $3 or whatever it was at the time, $4 or $5. It's
ridiculous.
Yeah.
In my case, I had a patio and we have music up there about every other night, or there wouldn't be any restaurant there. That's true to this very day.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should talk about real estate.
Yeah.
What do you do for us? I say us. He is my partner, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't mind disclosing to you the details that you have no business knowing, but he gets half my profits on wholesale deals. If I got any money in it, which I don't on wholesale deals, well, I do have marketing in it, but he gets half my wholesale profits. He gets half my front end deposits on lease options that we sell, and I get the houses. And in fact, we got one right now.
Yes, sir.
That we're trying to put a lease option tenant buyer in it.
Yeah.
And I'm hell bent on 50 grand, and
I am too.
you ain't got me my 50 grand.
I have not. I'm trying hard though.
Well, and the truth is, because I want more. How many calls?
Oh, over 115 or 16 as of this morning.
115 calls on that.
Yeah.
Problem is, most of them were broke.
Broke. Yep.
The $529,000 prices right in the ad. In fact, it's in Middleburg, which is, I think, one of the biggest problems. Middleburg is probably 25 miles south of here, but it's connected to Jacksonville, so
yeah,
it ain't like it's a foreign country or anything.
Yeah, but the good thing is you also can create a good buyers list, which I'm doing now. Though there are some out there that have 10 or 20, which is not bad. And when we get a house that's in that budget, you always have someone to reach out to. So that is one positive going
So
through
you
all that.
keep track of the ones that got 20?
Yeah, I might make notes in every contact in the
That's good.
CRM.
I hope I don't ever have to call one of them and say, I'll take it.
Me neither.
I want 50 grand. It's a
Yeah.
macho man
Yeah,
thing. I want my
yeah.
50 grand out. And I will get it too. I will get it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I think I got everything yesterday that I need to cover, but I know we got some people on here that weren't around yesterday. So one thing, you should have an application for a 30-minute planning session. And that is not a sales call. That is for you to get on. I only got 2 people here qualified now. We all got a bunch of them stacking up right now. So get yours in right away so we can get you on the list, and they'll get back to you and you guys will make an appointment to get together. And before you get together with them, ask yourself, what would I want to know? And answer is that, where are you at right now? Do you have any experience in real estate or not? What do you do for a living? And go through what the process is of getting into the real estate investing business, and it's free to you. So they're not going to sell you anything unless you ask them to, and you should. I told you tomorrow that I'm going to tell you how to get into my 4-day quick start school. That's where all of you need to start. And I've really whipped up a special deal that I've never offered this kind of deal before, but you'll get it tomorrow for being here. We appreciate you being here. Today, we're going to talk about finding deals. We're going to touch on them. I will tell you, I'm going to go through a few things that you can do as a beginner. You spend very little money doing it. Then I'm going to let him talk about the Dreams Pro system, which is changing everything and in the world today. And this is what I meant to say about the restaurant business a while ago. Your monthly overhead as a real estate investor is going to be less than $1,000 a month, plus whatever you want to spend on marketing. And we got everything in place for you to do it. I'll tell you about that today because you're going to learn about Dreams Pro today and also the CRM that comes with inside of it. So you don't need to go out and get anything. You don't need to go out and talk to a bunch of people about services they provide. In fact, I'm going to discourage you against that because you got all the services you need right here in place. You just got to step in and march forward. Of course, I strongly suggest you get training as fast as you can. And I still teach it this very day, 4 days of it. So yesterday, many of you bought the VIP upgrade, and all of you should. And we had a conversation with the staff yesterday, and I even added something for you today. And yes, if you're already a VIP, yes, we're going to give it to you too. So don't ask. All right. Just look at that sheet. Entire recordings of this event, including the question sessions. We had one yesterday, and it lasted almost an hour. So you guys make note, write your questions down now, and then hang around when I'm done. We're going to go about an hour and a half, and we're going to go right into the questions. So write them down. Don't try to think of them after we open it up for questions. You're going to get them. How long will it take to get them, Nick?
To get the questions?
Yeah, no, to get the recordings.
Oh, the recordings. We'll have them ready and edited and everything next week. John, do we have those available immediately, the unedited version?
Yeah, so we're gonna put them up after Friday after the event is over, and we're gonna send a link to all the VIPs. You'll come back to this event here on Ring Central Events, and there'll be a button that says replay. It's gonna have recordings of every day's event, unedited. It's just the raw recordings, and then also the VIP session, the 1-hour session after each day that Ron is doing with the VIPs answering questions. That'll all be available in the replay section Friday after. And then in the meantime, we're going to edit those videos, put them together, and send them out to you, deliver them to everybody within 30 days. So you'll have access to them.
I hope I didn't say something that should have been edited. I always do, they say. All right. That's true. I'm not running for public office. I don't care what I say. It ain't gonna come back and haunt me later. All right. You can't get on the questions and answers when I'm through unless you are a VIP member, and you are going to get a monthly conference call. I do one a month, and there you'll get some calls that Adel's doing as well. By the way, Adel is also one of our mentors who's working with a bunch of our students, helping them go from deal to deal. 30-minute, get that thing you sent in right away. Don't put it off. It don't cost you anything, for crying out loud. Fill it out so you're not too far down the list. And I have a 90-minute training on terms. It'll be free to you as well. You'll get the link to that. You are making a note of that, right, Nick? Get them the link to the online training.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This Fast Track to Wealth is recordings of about a half-a-day seminar that I did on the entire system, similar to what I did yesterday, but more in depth. I'm throwing that in for you. And here's probably the most valuable gift that I'm going to give you is $1 million scripts. Because I'm telling you, and Adel will agree,
Yep.
these things are worth $1 million. Okay, nobody's going to pay you $1 million for the pieces of paper, but they will easily generate more than $1 million worth of revenue in a short period of time, if in fact you use them. Remember, I said yesterday the two fences you got to jump, two things you got to master is number one, generating leads. I'm going to touch on that today. And second is handling that closing call. And these are what's going to make you handle the closing call. All you got to do is read. If you can read, you read the script, it's going to improve your progress tremendously. And then I told you I'm going to send you the IRA course. My friends, that IRA costs $497. I'm giving it to you for $149. And you're going to learn things about your IRA you never even dreamed, and how we leverage real estate with your IRA, make you rich tax-free. Trust me, tax-free is better than taxed all day long. And you can legally do it using your IRA and a couple of other tax-free entities as well. And here's what I just added after my conversation. We're going to give you a 30-day free trial to our Dreams Pro. 30-day free trial with no obligation to do anything after that. And how do they get that, Nick? Oh, they go to
Yeah, when they fill out the form for the VIP, there's a checkbox at the bottom. You don't have to opt into that if you don't want to. But for any new members, we're going to give you a 30-day free trial if you check the box. And you can cancel anytime. Like if you get into it, you find it's not for you, you can either go online and cancel, or call us and cancel, or text us, or send a homing pigeon, whatever you got to do.
Okay, and we'll make you aware of that here by the time we get off of here today. It's an incredible system for you to make life easier for you. They had no such thing like that when I started. In fact, when I started, they didn't even have the internet. That's how old I am. All right. I think I got everything done here before we start. John, do you want to give me the PowerPoints? And Al, you're going to jump in anytime you see fit, because he is the guy that implements what we do to find deals. And I'm going to pick his brain because I'm not even fully aware of what he's doing most of the time. We text, but we rarely talk, except when I go out and look at a house with him.
Yeah.
And I don't do that until it's under contract.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe how many days I used to spend running around looking at houses that I never bought. What a waste of time.
Yeah.
All right, there are steps that you got to do before you are ready to generate leads. You got to ask yourself, okay, my phone number is always going to be in advertising, whatever it is. Where are the calls going to go? And yourself is going to answer, well, I'm going to take them, of course. And I'm going to say, that's not how you get out of your own way, by taking inbound calls, most of which are a waste of your energy. 115 calls from buyers on one house.
Yeah.
I bet you'd enjoy that process, especially when you learn they're all asking you about the same questions. Okay. We have a system. We don't take inbound calls from buyers or sellers. Hello. How much of that time you're going to free up? And I'm going to tell you why here in just a minute. So make a note, take a screenshot of that. Go to ronlegrand.com/PatLive and sign up. It's $199 a month. And you quit anytime you want. Now you got a whole floor of live human beings, well-trained, taking inbound calls from you, from both buyers and sellers. And frankly, they'll take inbound calls for you. If you got another business, they can take them for you for that business as well. We've been working with Pat Live over 20 years now, 20 some odd years, and the best inbound service that we found. Make a note, Pat Live is about inbound calls, not outbound calls. They only take inbound calls. RVIs do outbound calls for you. ronlegrand.com/PatLive. And you don't need the capital in Ron LeGrand or Pat Live. Now look at this sheet. you're going to say, well, I'm going to take the calls and save $200 a month. And I'm going to say that would be a foolish decision on your part because you're not going to save $200 a month. Okay. Are you always in a good mood when people are calling you? No. Are you always ready to take the call and in the right frame of mind and have the property information sheet in front of you? No. Are you up 24 hours taking calls? I hope not. Are you always in a good mood, period? No. Are you driving down the road when a call comes in? What are you going to do then? I'll say, oh, please call me back. Yeah, that's the last time you're going to hear from them. Believe me when I tell you, when you're taking inbound calls, especially from buyers, because you're going to get 10 times more than you do on sellers, you are wasting your time. Most of it is a waste of your energy. If you let Pat Live do what they do, answer the calls for you, you don't even know you're being called until they immediately send you that information. What information? That's easy. Look in the middle there. You'll see the questions that they're going to ask them. It's all they're going to ask them. If you set it up under my name, because they're already set for that, they know what to do. You just got to tell them. You got to ask them. You got to tell them how they want you to answer the call, and the answer to that is hello, hello, and then they're going to say I'm calling about my house, and then they go right into the property information sheet. I'm sorry, no, they don't. They go into the 6 questions you see there. Number 1, you have a house for sale, and what's the address and what's the asking price, and then how to reach the seller. That's all Pat Live needs to say right there. That's all. Now they send it to you by text or email, and then with that information on it, and you forward it right to your virtual assistant that makes the outbound call with a script on the PI. I remember the property information sheet yesterday. I don't even know if I have one in here, but that's the kind of same information that your virtual assistant is going to get for you. But before that, somebody's got to take the call and get the seller's phone number to call them back. Now, listen, there's half your system right there. If you insist on taking all of these calls, you're going to get turned off and burn out and soon come to the conclusion, this real estate stuff ain't got to work for me. And guess what? You're right. If you don't follow the system and get out of your own way and quit wasting time talking to people you're never going to do business with. Deal with the people who want to deal with you and whack the rest at lightning speed.
Yeah, on the Pat Live thing here, I know you had mentioned it, but it is actually a harder call to handle taking it live, because I did it for a long time. And when you take them live and you're driving or you're out and you don't have the address or the ARV or anything, it really makes that call a lot worse. I found that it actually turned some people off. I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm fumbling and mumbling through the call and I'm driving and my daughter's in the background. So, and much like everyone else, I was the same person, took every call. I'm taking everything. No one's going to handle my leads, right? But I've really transitioned, especially since I've been mentoring, and I started getting calls during student calls, and now I'm missing leads during that, or I got to take the call with the student or whatever, right? So since I've transitioned to Pat Live a lot more recently, it has really made a big difference, honestly.
Well, you're a lucky guy, because it only took me about 25 years.
Yeah.
Imagine all them calls.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I hated to hear the phone ring. It made me nauseous.
Yeah.
But I knew if I didn't answer the phone, I had no business. So what if we let other people do what they do best, get out of the way and let them do it, and we can do what we do best, which was what? Making decisions, handling your business, not get involved in the minutia. Pat Live's the first step. Now you're going to get all your calls are going to Pat Live, and then you're going to get leads online as well. So you're going to have a website for that. And lucky for you, we're going to furnish it for you. This is our homepage of our Gold Club site. Gold Club is a system where we're constantly communicating with you, and it's got all of my forms. If you look up at the top there in that blue area, you'll see a training button. That's got dozens, if not hundreds, of training videos on about any subject you can find. And then if you look, you'll see a resources button. That's got every single form that I've done over the years, and many, many other resources that you can use right there on this Gold Club site, which is the biggest bargain in real estate today, I think. And if you look over to the left, you'll see a button there that says private lender website. We've even got a website on the Gold Club that will attract private lenders. I did a 17-minute audio on what is private lending, went through all the pros and the cons of all about it to educate the reader what it's about. And at the end, I said to the reader, get back with whoever sent you this and create a meaningful relationship. I told them how private lending works. I did not mention an interest rate in there, nor should I, because you're going to handle that by asking them, what kind of rate would you feel comfortable with? And then, because most people that you're going to contact have no idea what private lending is. And yet half the private lending is done in this country every day is done from people's IRAs or other pension plans. Very easy to get money from people who want to get a high rate of return when it's safely secured by a first mortgage on their property at a low loan to value ratio. Don't want you to ever exceed 70% loan to value ratio. In other words, a house should not be financed for more than 70% of its value. So the audio is called "Here's a Safe Alternative to the Stock Market." So if you'll punch that button, private lender, it'll take you over to those pages and just hit the one with the red banner on it, and you're all set up. Except you got to put your contact information in it. All it's on there, and I got enough videos on there to probably keep you watching until your retirement age is over. All right. This site also has a forum where our people can get together and chat and ask each other questions. There's a store on it, but it's a pretty important part of your system because, I meant to see them gold points up there in the upper left-hand corner. Okay, those points are worth $1 a point, and they grow fast. And before this day is over, you're going to see me give away some of those points to you. They're $1 a point. Every time you get on your site, it's a point. When you're playing on your site, it's points. When you pay your dues, you get 1 point for every dollar you're paying on your monthly dues, and they grow really fast. They grow a whole lot faster than American Express points, I'll tell you that. And every point is worth $1 on anything we have here, other than VA services and our dues here on the Gold Club. So, how do you get on? Well, let me finish here, then I'll give you one website you can go to. Okay, websites. We're going to give you one. We're going to monitor it for you. It don't cost you anything. And it's got whatever you need on it for both buying and selling houses. So you don't even have to worry about having somebody build you a website because, a lot of people want to go on to your website. A lot more important when you're selling than it is when you're buying. Because when you're selling, you're going to get 10 times the calls you get when you're buying. And they're all the same, redundant questions. So the website comes with your Dreams Pro package. And it's almost immediately. You probably get a website done your first week after you make the call. Now, all of these that come from online and from social media are going to go to your website. And on there's a form they fill out that ask them pretty much the same questions as Pat Live is going to ask them when they call. And that tells you to get it to your VA and let them fill out the PI property information sheet. So let's recap here for a moment. Already, you're set up with somebody taking all your inbound calls. And even if you want to take the calls yourself during the day, what are you going to do when you're ready to go to bed? Forward it to Pat Live. Now, when you set up Pat Live, they're going to give you 6 phone numbers. And you make sure that you remember to use 1 phone number per media. In other words, if I'm putting a sign on a car, that's 1 number. If I'm running ads online, that's another number. Because now you can track where your calls are coming from and see what's working and see what's not working and make adjustments. Do more of what's working and do less of what's not working. So all of that is built into your monthly dues. And let's talk about those right now. Well, before we do, John, can you blow that up? I can't really read that. Keep going. Well, I can memorize it. Let me do that. Now, leads, what we're going to talk about today. Okay, you're going to generate your own leads, but when we get to it, you'll find that Dreams Pro will generate some for you as well. And you can get RVA to call the websites in your area and look for FSBOs on the websites. They're not as quality leads as the ones we're about to show you to get, but they're free. And every time we do a boot camp, that's where we do deals from, is the leads that they brought that RVA's got them on the websites that are selling houses. You're also going to get I can't read it, John. I'm gonna have to move it up a little bit. Move it up. You know what? The daily alerts, are those the ones that come through Dreams? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, good. We also get comps. We got a great comp website as part of this package. Your comps are all laid out, and one of the first things I teach you is how to pick the right comps. Pick 2 comps that are similar to the ones to the subject that you're trying to count. That's extremely important to you, because so many people are using Zestimate on Zillow for the market value, and that is not the market value. Almost always low. And I'll prove it to you when you come see me. Marketing tools are on there, a ton of them. In fact, we're going to get to that here in a little bit. The AI sellability scores, I'm not even sure we ought to tell them about that.
I actually don't even really use them that much anymore, honestly.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll tell you about that later.
Yeah.
We'll get to this thing. All right, let's get to the next slide here, John. And load that one up for me. The one on the left is a must do for you. It's only $99 a month, and it includes all the benefits that Dreamfinder's got for you. And it has 8 lead types in it. Now, explain what a lead type is.
Lead type would be either absentee owner, pre-foreclosure, vacant, tax delinquent, things like that.
Okay. And more importantly for us, you select your mailing list that you want to mail to off of Dreams with extremely motivated sellers. You're going to ultimately have 17 different selections you can make. You get 8 in the $99 level. In other words, I don't know, vacant houses, vacant out of town houses, high equity in them, low equity in them, and rattling off as many as I can think of.
Yeah, I know.
Foreclosures. Okay.
I'm not sure if that's in the 8 of them, but that's a mixture of what they'll get. Yeah, not every one. Yeah.
All right. And it's a comp site, and it's also a great site to estimate repairs on houses, which I was skeptical of in the beginning until I started putting in numbers that I know to be true. So we put in your address of your house and your square footage and number of bedrooms and baths and so forth. And then you start putting in the things that you want, that are got to go in the house, and it'll come up with a number and give you a repair estimate. It was pretty darn close when I checked it. So that's for you folks that just have to do something on the computer before you can buy a house. Adel and I wouldn't use that. We walk through the house. We know what the repairs are. In fact, he looks at pictures.
Yep.
And tells me what the rehab cost. He never right.
No.
I've never been right either.
Yeah.
But we're close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough to make the offer. So you got Dreams website. You got Dreams CRM system, which is that's a machine that's going to run your business for you. You get 8 more lead types on it than you do the 99. And the big one is the direct mail engine. And here's how that works. First, you go pull your list. I want you to do that today.
Okay.
And then you pick out the cards or letters that you want to mail to them that they've already built for you, or you send them what you want to send, and tell them what area you want to mail them to, and they'll do the mailing for you. They literally print the card, stamp it, and then put it in an envelope, or or leave it in a postcard and mail it for you. And folks, what they charge you to mail a postcard or a letter is almost less than you have to pay for a stamp today. So they get great rates. You're not going to get any cheaper mailing done, especially when that includes all the labor and the postage. Geez, the postage on a letter nowadays is 73 cents. And costs much more than that to get them to all do it and buy the postage. So this thing does a lot of stuff for you. And we're going to get to that in a little while, but it even does skip tracing for you. And that one is $297 a month. And your website is set up for you, and your Dream CRM is set up for you, or people can do that with you. And you don't have to go learn a bunch of stuff to get it going. And then we got ongoing training sessions on it. In fact, if you want to write one down right now, on January 7th, 8th, and 9th, Adel's going to do some training going through the system live. It's free. If you're listening, you can come to that right now and go through each one of the tools that are on there and you're going to see this is an amazing thing. What we do is you take a big list. I don't know. Let's say vacant out of town owners.
Here in Jacksonville,
It doesn't matter.
yeah, a few thousand.
2,000.
Yeah,
Okay. You narrow that down by adding some more motivation.
layers. Yeah, you can add either filters for the house that you're interested in, the size, bed and bath, years of ownership, or you can do both actually. That and then add maybe vacant, and then add an absentee, or vacant, absentee, and a tax delinquency. Right? You can stack these lists multiple times to get your list to a size that you want to market to. If you want a bigger one, less filters. If you really want to get a smaller one, and your budget a little smaller, then you can do that.
So
So
it's a smaller one.
Yeah.
All potentially motivated based on the list that they're on.
Yep.
So now the days of spending thousands of dollars on direct mail are no more. Well, maybe they are if you really want to ramp up. But you take a big list and you narrow it down to a small list, and then you skip trace it.
Yep.
In case you want to call them.
yeah,
And we do.
And-
And then we mail to the rest of them. By the way, skip tracing is 10 cents a name, and we're every worth of it, every dollar.
yeah. Skip tracing is just a way for you to get their phone numbers, email address, mailing addresses. Sometimes they got relative phone numbers, just kind of a overview of the house, information of the house.
But it takes out all the people that moved as well, doesn't it?
What do you?
Some of them.
Some do, yeah.
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 Anyway, guys, you own this list. You're not renting this list. You own this list. You
Yeah.
can mail it as many times as you want. This thing's incredible. You're going to see here. Oh, that is probably going to be closer to 2 to 3 would be my guess. In other words, I'll let you know when it is, because it's going to be right after I'm through here. I got some other ways for you to find deals. Geez, I have it right here. I could have just went here and moved on, trying to memorize all that stuff. All right, all you VIPs now are getting recordings of this whole thing, which includes all of the questions and the demonstration he's going to do for you today. So if you're not a VIP yet, gosh, why? All that stuff for $149, man. Get it so you can get all the recordings. You can play them back as you see fit. All right, let's talk about some other ways to generate leads today. And I'm just doing a few of them. I can tell you that right now. Hey, get me them signs back there where we're at. So go get your VIP right now, and we're going to send you all that stuff here at the end of the week or the first of next week. But putting out signs is one of them on our list. Now, the first day of our boot camp, spent a whole afternoon on nothing but finding deals. And that changes constantly based on what we learn as we go. And we are learning a lot as we go, what works for us and what doesn't. But here's one thing that Addo does. These are roadside signs. Look at there. I actually practice what I preach. That's strange. But now, you got to have an area code. We just recently had 904 as our area code. And now they brought it up. So you got to have your area code on here. And that's all you need right there. I use full price for your house because I believe, no evidence, but I believe when they say, see, I buy houses, they think of you as a real estate investor and that you're going to come out and take advantage of them. And I don't know if that's full price for your house doesn't indicate that I'm that kind of investor going out to steal their house. Now this is half a sign. In other words, that's this sign cut in half. There's my selling sign, lease purchase, no bank qualifying, and phone number right there. I just put a couple of those out the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, I put 12 out, and those actually got some of the better calls. The handful of calls that people had some money and were interested came from the signs.
Good.
Yeah.
And you mean the place where we're told we can't put up signs?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
And stop us from putting up a sign in front of a house because of the association. Okay. Now, you ordered this sign cut in half. Makes 2 signs.
Yeah.
So in reality, what does this size sign cost, do you think?
I'd probably say about $1.50, $2 a sign with the stake per sign. Yeah.
You got the metal stakes?
Yeah.
Okay, so in other words, what would a big one like this cost?
You probably rent them about $250 a sign.
Double-sided?
Double-sided, yeah.
Okay.
They're cheaper if you do single-sided, but it's your call.
Yeah, well, you're going to need to do both.
Yeah.
For example, if you're going to put them up on a tree, you only need them one-sided. You're going to put them on the wire stake in front of the house, you need them double-sided. So you should get some of each. Don't worry, I'm gonna tell you where to get them here in just a second. All right, now you see these things all over the place, but there's good ones and there's dumb ones. All right, as you're gonna see right here. Dumb ones like the one down there in the yellow. Look at this guy. Read that sign. It says, "Don't call me unless you're ready to sell."
Yeah.
That's a stupid thing to put on a sign. And in fact, I think that character, he thinks that character is going to draw attention. That's going to be showing how stupid it is. I'm drawing much attention to it. So, few things about signs. Number one, you don't put them in front of people's houses. You put them where you see spaces where you can put them. You put them on trees. Don't ever put them on telephone poles. You put them not, in my opinion, not on the busiest streets, because if you put them on the busiest streets, they're not going to stay there long. Either the city's going to take them down or the self-appointed sign police in the area is going to take them down. We put them on the busy side streets off the main street, but they go right through houses, subdivisions. In other words, we put them in the area where we like to buy houses. And we buy cheap houses as well as more expensive houses. I showed you 2 houses yesterday that were over $500,000 houses. They've gone way up in value. But we do an awful lot of marketing into the low end of the market as well for wholesaling and retail, rehabbing retail prospects. And you got to go where the junk is. The junk ain't no $500,000 houses. Oh, there's always examples of some that are there, but you're not going to make a living just going after $500,000 houses that need rehab. Because the higher the price of the house, the more able the owner is to take care of these repairs as they're needed. And in other words, they make more money or they wouldn't be in the higher priced houses. So it's just common sense to me for junkers, I go in the lower end. For pretty houses, we go from the median price where you live and up, and we still get some terms deals. Truth is, you're not going to find terms deals without finding junkers and vice versa, because you just don't ever know what these, you're going to get a lot of terms deals out of the lower end houses as well. Problem is you're going to get less money out of them too. Now, I showed you some wholesale deals that I did 5 of them yesterday, in case you weren't here, 5 ugly houses that we netted $147,000 off of in 2 months, and total investment was $10 per house for the earnest money deposit. I hope that sunk into you, because I'm going to go over a little wholesaling here before we're done today, but I am telling you, anybody can wholesale a house. Anybody can wholesale a house. And that's where I'm going to tell you might want to start. But I don't want you to stop there, because I want you to see the value of the terms business. You remember the house I showed you yesterday that I've already made $650,000 on in the 10 years that I own it, and I still own the house. I can't do that with a junker. Flip it, get a check, pay maximum taxes. And nothing wrong with checks, don't get me wrong. And I don't see any problem with you getting some of those checks as well. Some of you watching right now need checks like you need oxygen. I get it. I remember when I was the same way. And fastest way is a wholesale deal, period. Find a junker. I'm going to go through the steps with you a little bit on this session today. But anyway, make your sign easy to read. Don't make it hard to read. And in fact, if you look at the one over on the right, the letters aren't fat enough. Remember, they're going to buy these things on the road. Okay, not everybody has 20/20 vision, including me. I couldn't even read that sign on the road going by it if I had to. That pink one up there, my mom buys houses. That's going to generate a lot of confidence in your reader, I can tell you. Here's some more. We buy crack houses. That's a Jacksonville sign. I thought it was kind of funny first time I saw it. Then I heard that it went viral.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I like the one down in the lower left, full price for your home and phone number. I don't like the one on the right because they forgot to put a phone number on it. So don't do that. Anyway, very simply, make them easy to read. Handwritten is okay. Handwritten will probably outpull the printed signs, usually does, but as long as it's easy to read. Don't try to sell it with a sign. The sign is just to get the phone ringing. You don't have to put all the benefits on the sign. Frankly, I don't care if you put anything, but I buy houses cash. Make sure you put the cash on the sign and a phone number, or full price for your house and a phone number. That's all you need on it. So here's where you get your signs. Want to shoot that screenshot, you can. Yardsignswholesale.com, supercheapsigns.com, bandit signs. Who do we buy them from?
Super cheap.
Super
signs.
cheap?
Yeah.
Okay. So they are the cheapest.
I think so. I can check the other couple websites. I haven't checked in a while.
In other words, he didn't do any price checking before he spent my money. Is that
No,
what
no,
you're
I
saying?
did. I did at the time. You can actually get some if you want to do it a little cheaper, hard way. In a sense, you can buy a blank one from Amazon and write them out yourself if you want.
Get blank ones in Lowe's.
Or at Lowe's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be all right for your beginning, but
Yeah.
honestly, that ain't going to cost you any less than getting them made.
Yeah, that's true.
Except when you get them made, yeah, they want quantity of some sort.
Yeah. You have to have a
Well,
minimum.
if you're not going to put out a lot of signs, I mean, I don't know what you're doing it for. Putting out 1 or 2 signs ain't you going to get any houses bought unless you're
Yeah.
extremely lucky.
That's true.
We put out 25. Actually, what we do is this. You got a van, get 3 or 4 people in the van beside you, and they got to be young because an old geezer ain't going to do this. Take them to an area, give them all, oh, wait a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's the door
Yeah.
hangers. Yeah.
Door hangers. Take them to an area, get them a handful of door hangers, and stop beginning of a block and put 2 of them out, and I'll put 1 of them out on each side, and they start there, and they go put door hangers all the way up the block or 2, and then by that time he's up there 4 or 5 blocks later putting another 2 out, and they work toward each other. And you pick them up in the middle, and these things work. Now these are hang on the door. All right, hang on the door. They can't see me, can they, John? Doesn't matter. They're on the screen. They're 5.5 by 11. They're on glossy, thick paper, and they're to be put on the door knob. They are not to be put in the mailbox. Post office is going to frown on that one. Don't do that. Because they're going to walk up and they're going to hang them on the fence. If they can't get through, they're going to put them on the door. Now imagine what's going to happen when this homeowner comes home and finds this on the door. All right. They can't get in without taking it off the door. So it's been delivered, unlike letters or emails. Now they may not need it right now, but they make good bookmarkers and they tend to hold on to them. You know, there's an old adage in marketing is get yourself inside of the people's homes as often as you can. We're getting inside their home with ease. Now, some of them are going to trash. That's a fact. All right. But you want to take a screenshot of those, you may right now to get the language. But to be honest with you, it's not about the language as much as getting the message delivered. There's no perfect language to put on any of these things that you do. Now, you help me out here, Adol. What did we pay? We paid $550 for 5,000.
Yep.
5,000. By the
Yep.
way, that's a double-sided one that you're looking at.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got 550 in this. Now, the idea is to get 4 teenagers. And if you don't have them, rent them. This is just a gig is all it is. You can go on Craigslist and go under gigs and find people to do this for you.
Yep.
And you should develop a habit of this, maybe every Saturday from 9 to 1 or something like that, because 4 hours is about all you can handle. Eh?
Yeah. You only get 4 hours out of them walking around. By then, they're ready to get out of there.
Yeah. Remember, they got more energy than you do, or I do. So they can do 4 hours.
Yeah.
And they can probably do longer, but you put out 1,000
With 4 people. Yeah.
in 4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah.
Got that 4 hours. So if your people come in at 990, find out what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
And now we're going into the lower end neighborhoods. What that means where you live, I don't know. In Jacksonville, that's houses that retail from some of them 175 on up to 300, give or take.
Yep.
But our median price house here is almost $300,000 now. So you're going to areas that are below median price. If you don't know how to get median price, ask Siri. And I say to her, Siri, I'm waiting for her to come on there. She's doing it. Okay. What is the median price home in the city, wherever you live? And now you know it. Okay. Now, junkers are below that. And beautiful houses are somewhere around that or above. You know, you're going to get nice houses in all kinds of areas, but you're going to make your biggest money from the more expensive houses like the ones I showed you yesterday. All right. So can you put out signs? Can you put out door hangers? Now, watch this. Here's the cool part. Got these same 4 people in the van. You got signs. Where there is no houses, you put up a for sale. I buy houses sign, which I don't. Yeah, I do. Like I just showed you.
Yep.
stick it in the ground, put them on trees. And so put them up as high as you can and put them on the side streets. They go through subdivisions where your people are that are going to buy the properties. Sell the property. So we're going to put up signs at the same time we're putting up door hangers. And we're going to look for sale by owner signs in this neighborhood as well, so we can have VAs call them. I got a sign, I got the phone number on it, okay? And then you're going to be looking for vacant, ugly houses with no sign, which, by the way, are probably the best deals you're ever going to get on these low-end houses. If there's no sign in the front yard, no one knows they're for sale, including the seller. They have a sign in it, okay? That's also one you want to come home and skip trace and find the owner of the house, and then mail them a letter stating that you buy houses. And before you leave that house, somebody needs to put a flyer or a door hanger. Door hanger's okay on it in case they come back to it. And also, you're looking for listed ugly houses. I would not put the door hanger on those, but well, I don't know. I would. I'm not interfering with anything, because be careful now. Sometimes listed is not, they're not really listed. Okay. They're just giving a realtor, pay them a fee to put it in the MLS. And if it is listed, you need to take a picture of the sign with the listing agent's phone number right on it. And then you call the agent and ask them to start sending you vacant, ugly houses like this where you live. Now, of course, when I see you at the boot camp, I'm going to teach you how to get them coming to you every single day. We get about 10 a day on the phone every day.
Yep.
And I send them to him, and he estimates the repairs by the pictures and tells me what the ARV is, because that's way more involved than I want to be. Besides, he has to have something to do.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you, I ask you for the truth now. How many hours do you spend buying and selling houses? All right. Not thinking about it. Actually working on it.
Oh, not thinking. Okay.
Mm.
No, you're looking at about 2 to 4 hours a day, right? So 10, 15 hours, maybe 20, depending on, and we have a lot going on. It's been kind of slower. It's November, December, last couple of months.
Slow last couple of months, but that's cyclical. You watch January.
Yeah. No,
January.
I've been telling all my students, don't Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day is one day, right? It's not
right.
take the whole week off.
That's correct. And I bought a house one time on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And I sold one time on Christmas Eve. Never done one on Christmas Day. But you know what? Nothing stopped me.
Yeah.
Don't make any assumptions about the marketplace, folks. You just can't.
Yeah.
That's why we never post what we want down and never post what we want per month. We ask them what the most they can pay, and they make us an offer. Okay. If you do this and you can't help but getting calls. Can't help, and it's cheap. Oh, we paid them $10 an hour, didn't we, for 4 hours?
I did. Yep.
Times 4. So we got 160 in this Saturday after we've already printed the hangers. So we can go out 5 times on my first 5,000
Correct.
for a total cost of $160 a day plus the $550 for the cars.
Yep.
That is cheap marketing, folks. And you can't get more direct than that and shoving them right in their face. Might suggest you do that. So we recap so far. Road signs, that means your road signs, the one you put up, plus the FSBO signs that are already in front of the houses. And those are good leads. They're not the best quality leads, but they're good leads because the house is still on the market. That's not true when you go to Zillow. A lot of them are sold before you see the ad. These, it's still on the market, and they're trying to sell it themselves. So you're going to deal directly with the seller. That's why I like these leads. Door hangers we just discussed. Car signs we didn't discuss car signs, did we?
No.
Okay. You can go to most sign shops that do wraps, and you don't need your whole car wrapped, but you can if you want. A lot of people do. Or you can just have the sign wrapped. Full price for your house and a phone number on each side. Another way to do it is to just get some magnetic signs done. One for each side. Says the same thing in all your other advertising. We buy houses, cash, and phone number, and that's all you need to put on the sign. The easier the sign is to read, the more people are going to respond to it. And now think about it. Everywhere you go, you're advertising what you do. You're letting the world know that you buy houses. And frankly, we're just touching on what you can do today. Free online ads. Free online ads of people selling, but also free online ads that you buy houses. And your VAs will do that for you. You just give them the ads. And then the big one down at the bottom, it's social media. We could spend 3-4 days just on that,
Good.
but I'm not qualified to teach that one.
I'm a little bit, not much either.
And, I'm one of them old geezers. I ain't gonna spend my life on the web. So, all right, we're going to Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
Going to Craigslist,
Craigslist.
probably Zillow,
Yeah, and I would probably start a business page as well for your home buying business.
Facebook.
You can, yeah, Facebook or Instagram business page, and you can start putting posts through there to get your name out there and get your company out there. Obviously, making YouTube video. Like you say, how long does it take to make a 60-second video, right? So,
All right, while you're on that subject,
yeah.
all right, listen up. See this? This is a video machine. Okay, you put it on video, and here, just pretend we're making a video.
Okay, all right.
Make a video right now. Except we ain't gonna make one. How easy it is. All right. Hi there. Are you thinking about selling your house pretty soon? Well, if that's true, I'd like to buy it. I'm Ron LeGrand, and we buy houses here in Jacksonville, Florida, and we close when you're ready. We pay cash, and you don't even have to be out of your house when you buy with me, and you can leave what you want, take what you want. I don't really care. So if you're really interested in selling the house, give me a call at I can make this about.
Yeah.
All right, now listen. There's all kinds of things you can do. How much does it cost to put a 60-second video on YouTube?
It's free.
It's free. I knew that. Okay. Here's what a lot of people do. They stand in front of the camera and they put the sign in front of them like that, preferably with the head showing. So now everybody knows exactly what you do just by, even if there's no video there. But I tell you, you're gonna get more hits if there's a video there. Make a short video, and the crazier it is, the better, and the stupider it is, the better. I don't know why, but that's what attracts people.
Yep.
So don't worry about being some professional or anything. And if you're going to do that, I'd get a husband and wife if that's existing. And don't have a wife, maybe you can rent one. Same with a dog. Should have a dog in this thing.
Somewhere in the neighborhood.
Yeah. And just go look on YouTube. Look at what all the other people are doing. It's free, guys. It's free. So do it. Generate leads. Now I'm going to give you a warning. People come to me from all financial levels of life to get trained, from surgeons all the way down to the unemployed. And some of them have some money to play with, and some of them don't. I don't want you to do anything that requires a whole bunch of money up front that you absolutely are convinced is going to work. I've been marketing for 40 years now, and I'm telling you right now, I still don't try to outguess the marketplace. Let the market speak. So some people come in, they go home and they start spending several $1,000s on their marketing right away, and they are not getting good results because they're not ready to spend several $1,000s for one good reason. They haven't mastered the closing call. So you got to master the closing call, which we're going to deal with tomorrow, right here. Then you can start spending money, spend it small, and check the results. Pat Live's going to give you 6 fund numbers. They count them for you, so it's easy for you to see which number applies to which media and count up where you're getting results from. Now, of course, if they're going to your website, obviously you know what the results are, that you're pulling them off your website, which actually that's not exactly true. I don't know if you even care which site they were on. Well, be careful. If you're going to run some ads, you need to know. I'm not going to have a phone number. I mean, a different URL for every site that I want to run an ad on. But I got to figure out the best way that I can tell where that call and where that person getting on my website to sell me a house came from. Nick, you know a way to separate those?
Sorry, Ron, separate what?
I'm running an ad all over the internet on multiple sites to drive them to my one site when I'm buying and selling, actually.
Yes.
I can't use a phone number for every single website I put the advertising on.
Not for every single website, but for the main source, so if you're using Google to put these ads on all these different sites, then Google has a display network So it's not, setting up
That's,
ads on individual sites. It's
that's-
letting Google decide where to put it.
that's what our VAs do for them anyway. They're not supposed
Yeah,
to be
and
thinking
you
about
would
that.
and you would just want to track these all came from your Google Display Network. So I would use a unique phone number, a unique website for that, but you
Okay.
don't have to have a unique
So-
one for every single website.
So if you didn't understand what he just said, don't worry about it. You're not doing it anyway. Our VAs will do it for you, which I highly recommend. I don't want you doing any of this stuff. What you need to be doing is processing leads and making appointments and getting deals. All right. What is wholesaling? Now, remember, if you're a VIP member, to hang around when we're done here, because we're going to do some questions after we're finished today. And I got Adel here as well, so you can pick his brain. What do we do besides what I just said?
Let's see, direct mail as far as finding leads.
Yeah, we
Do-
mail postcards.
Postcards. We'd sometimes do the check letters. I kind of turned those off recently. I'm just managing the mail myself for the time.
It's a letter that's got, it looks like a check inside.
Yeah, sorry, it has a dollar amount on there. Yellow letters is another good one that we've always sprinkle in there for some drops a couple times a year. Facebook paid and Instagram and Facebook ads. Currently, we're running total all in $20 a day, 10 on Facebook, 10 on Instagram per day. Cold calling through the VAs here. It's just uploading lists for the VAs to call through. I'm trying to get more into texting. I mean, you get a lot of responses from texting. It's just you just got to send out a lot to get a deal. When you send out a lot, there's a lot of responses to go through, for the VA to cycle through. But that's a good, cheap way to do it. There's sources like Launch Control or other sites you can send texting through. So that's a good one to do. There's pay per leads that you can buy leads
But
from.
they all charge goodly amount of money for their leads.
Yeah, yep.
Because they've done all the work, spent the money to generate the leads. So I don't want anybody doing that right now. But when you get ready to crank this thing up after you've done a couple of deals, then there are people that will generate the leads for you, and you just buy the leads from them. Got a whole list of them in your boot camp manual.
Yeah. Top four, really. I always have the triangle there: the call, text, mail, sprinkling some digital, Facebook ads right there. And that's kind of the core right there. Where we just continue just being really consistent with mailing to good lists, calling good lists, and following up with text. And then, of course, the follow-up process is really the most important. After you generate the lead, you master that call, but then there's also that follow-up process
Which is done on Dreams.
which is done through
You
Dreams.
just set it and
Yeah.
forget it.
Yep.
6 different hits you can hit them with. 6 different cards or letters you can mail them.
Correct.
And you pick the time in between, and it does it for you once you set it.
Yes, sir.
And
Yep.
what percentage of the deals you think do we get are from follow-up?
I'd venture towards close to 100. It's pretty that high. Yeah. I mean, the one we had earlier this year, Briarcliff, that was one of the few where he called on a Tuesday and I met him on Wednesday and got the contract. That's few and far between. So a few, those are definitely out there occasionally, but majority of them are from some sort of follow-up, whether it's 2 weeks or 30 days, sometimes all the way up to 6 or 7 months. But the majority of them come from some sort of 3rd, 4th, 5th call, 6th
Back,
call.
I'm about to show them Tina Lane here. That one took a long.
That was 4 or 5 months as well from
Yeah.
the time she received the first check offer, which was that $250. And by the time we got the contract for $190, it had been about 5 months. And she kept getting the letter every 60 days. So she called the first, and then she called the second 60 days. After that, she got another one and said, "Okay, let's talk
Follow up.
again." Let's talk again,
It's
basically.
an old
Yeah,
marketing
yeah.
axiom. 82% of all your sales will come from the 2nd to the 7th contact with the prospect.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed in all the years I've been in this business.
Yep.
So you better have an automatic system to follow up. And that's what Dreams does for you. Worth its weight in gold. Okay. What is wholesaling? Well, it's really so pathetically simple. Okay. Everybody wants to complicate it. And I'd venture to say that just the hardest part about wholesaling is finding the deals. Finding the deals. Finding the deals that you agree in a contract to pay a wholesale price for, so you can flip it for more than that to somebody else that can retail it. So all your wholesale deals are going to be sold to investors. All your terms deals are going to be sold to owner occupants. Buy for cash, we sell for cash. Buy on terms, we sell on terms, which is lease options, as far as I'm concerned. So here's a list you might want to take a shot of. Locate prospects. Okay, we just touched on that. put the signs in the cheap areas where you want to wholesale, send the letters through Dreams Pro to hit the neighborhoods that you want, and all the other things that we just discussed. And then there's a whole bunch of them we haven't discussed yet, which I can't possibly do in this time frame. In other words, target the people you think have the ugly houses. And I'm telling you, that's all houses that have a retail value of about median price where you live. Most of them are well below that. And some of them are above that. It's okay. But that's who you got to target. If you want to buy junkers, don't go into a $500,000 neighborhood. Probably aren't any there. I say there aren't any, but there, that's an only occasional deal. And even if you're mailing the low ends, you're still going to get some terms deals. And if you're mailing the high end, you're still going to get some trashed out houses. All right, now this one I'm about to take a shot of that first. Locate them and pre-screen them. All right, pre-screen them ain't hard. Here's the script. If I pay you cash and close quickly, what's the least you could take? Shut up. Don't forget the shut up part. A lot of trouble getting people to shut up. Talk too much. It's one of the 14 mistakes that people make on the phone, which we're going to cover tomorrow. If in fact you get a number, in fact, I'm going to give you the formula right now, the Mayo formula, which I invented, I don't know how many years ago now, and it's pretty much industry standard. That stands for maximum allowable offer. So we find the ARV. You go on your Dreams and you find the ARVs after you're taught only the top 2 sales are your comps, because we know they were in good shape. And we figure out our ARV using $1 per square foot on what they sold for and compare it to our subject. And that's what we're going to get the ARV. We're definitely not going to look at anybody's guesstimate or estimate. Tax assessed value is irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the market value of the property. And now you got one leg up just because you can get the proper price on it after it's renovated. And then, of course, the seller's already trying to sell it for cash. And almost all of them are going to be for cash. But I'm going to take 70% of that ARV, 70%, and then I'm going to subtract the repairs from that number. And that's going to be my Mayo, maximum allowable offer. And then don't forget this part. We never, ever pay Mayo. We always pay below Mayo, but we got to have a measuring stick there somewhere. Because most people just throw spaghetti against the wall and hope it sticks. And that's not how you want to run your business. In the junker business, it's all about math. So, in fact, let me put this next one up here. This is a house that I currently own. Now look at the ARV and look at the purchase price. So my formula also says that when your ARV is over 300, you can use 80%. So let's see, what's 80%? I hope this one don't make a fool out of me. 325 times 8 equals 260. 260.
Yep.
All right. That house probably needs 40 in repairs, don't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that drops the Mayo down to 220. We bought it for 190. Well below Mayo. Will that work? Yes, it will. That house is out there right now. We tried to wholesale it for way more than it's worth. way more than it's worth.
There. We did make some few small repairs to some of the rotted wood, and there was a broken window.
Oh, that's right. We spent about 10 grand on the house, didn't we?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So now he put it out there for 280, I think, looking for owner occupants that want to do their own work and live in it, and because it qualified for a loan almost just like it is.
Yes, sir.
We didn't get anybody's.
No, not really much traction there.
Now, right now, I lowered it down, and now we're looking for a wholesaler or a retailer, and I got it at 240.
Yep.
240. So if I sell it at 240 and they put 30 in it, because I've already done 10 of it, that's quite a bit of spread. 240 and 30 is 270. And I got a 30, 40, $55,000 difference in those two numbers. So here's the steps for wholesaling. Let's go back to them. Seller made us an offer, right?
Correct. Oh, yes, sir. Sorry. Yeah.
How'd you find this deal?
Direct mail. We sent her that check letter.
Okay.
The check letter had the price of $250 on it originally.
Yeah.
So when she called, I kind of talked to her and told her that number is The house is in, not retail, but pretty close to retail condition. At the time, had tenants in there. Tenants had been in there 5 or 6 years. So I already knew that wasn't the case, right? I mean, you got 5 years worth of tenants. The house is not going to be retail. So I kind of told her that we wouldn't be anywhere close to 250. And at that time, she said, well, that's kind of what I want. And I said, all right, well, I'm sorry it couldn't work out. Thanks for calling. Have a good day. So I called her back the next month. She's still stuck at 250. And then something happened in her life when she got the second check that still had the same number on it. I got your other check, and I need to get rid of this house. I need the money, basically. And I said, well, what would be the least you take for it? She was actually came all the way down to 200. Then I just asked her that question. That's the best you can do. She dropped another 10. So I said, okay, well, I think that'll work for us. And then sent her the contract, DocuSign, and she was in Tennessee.
Yeah.
She wasn't even here in Florida. So
It's amazing. Is that the best you can do?
yeah,
It's the most
works every time.
7 most important words in the world of negotiating right there. Is that the best you can do? Shut up. Wait for an answer. Really? So if I don't pay you that, you won't sell to me?
Yeah.
That's how we do it. Wait till you see our script. Oh, you got my scripts. You ought to read them. They've been changed a dozen times already. They work.
Yeah.
Okay, once we come to a number, then we get a contract.
Correct.
Okay, so let me acquaint you with the modern day wholesaling world. Your big wholesalers out there, the ones that do 250 and more houses a year. But first, they're not in any one area. They're in several different states, most likely. But they buy online, they look at pictures, and then they sell online, and most of them never see the house. Never see the house. So they put them under contract for whatever they agree upon. Then they put it right back on the market with their markup in it and wait for somebody to say, I want it. Takes the same calls that he takes with local calls here. You're not going to get it under contract until you, the seller, agree on the purchase price. Now, what if I put it under contract and I can't sell it, Ron? Well, then you just get out of the contract and give them back their $10 because that's the deposit we put up on most of them when we buy. That's not going to be applicable to houses in the MLS, but it is with physicals. Get the contract back, we call a title company up and we have them run title search. That takes 2 or 3 days. That'll cost you about $100, give or take. Now we know we got clear title. Now we put it out there on the market on several different sites. We run a market, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, maybe Zillow. What's the name of that site that puts them all in?
That's Turbo Tenant.
Turbo
But I
Tenant.
don't know if you don't own the house. I don't know about marketing
No,
like that.
There's another one. I forgot what it was. Anyway, they put it over multiple websites.
Oh, I know on Dreams. You can put it on Dreams, $100 for a month.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and you can put it so anyone on the platform in that area.
I forgot about that.
You can put it on there, and it'll pop up there for people to see that as well.
Well, how come we didn't do that for Tina yet?
Yes, sir. I know. We talk about it, and then it just disappears, right? If you don't write it down, it's not going to stick. So I will make sure I do it today.
So somebody's not taking care of putting their notes down so they don't forget stuff, right?
Correct. Yes, sir. That is true.
Okay.
But mainly Facebook groups would be the main way I found a lot of buyers over the years is just making a post in a Facebook group. Hey, I have a property in Middleburg, Florida, 1,500 square feet, asking 220 or whatever you're asking. Drop your email below or DM me, and you will get flooded.
Put it on there today.
Yes, sir. I will.
Okay, good. All right. So we put it out. Now here come the calls.
Yep.
And this is an art that you have to learn. Okay. Most of your calls are going to be junk. People that can't buy the house. I swear I don't even know why some of them call. Some of your calls are calling to make you an offer on a house they haven't seen yet. And there's actually, incidentally, we never put the house number in an ad. Never do that unless you want squatters and thieves in your house. We put the area, like ours is in Middleburg.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the ad. The price is in the ad. In this case, we're looking for an all-cash sale. So it's not about terms. And they don't get, I'm going to put a lockbox on it, but they don't get that code until they say they got a substantial amount of money. I won't take less than 5% down. No, I'm sorry, this is all cash. I'm getting ahead of myself. All cash. They know the price. Now, if they try to negotiate, well, you just ask them, have you seen this house yet? And it's usually no. How could they? They don't have the address to it. You're the one that has to get to it. Well, go see it and call me back. And then we'll get back together if it's still available.
Yep. I always ask that question. Are you the end buyer? Right? Are you the end buyer? Are you the guy who's making the decision who's going to put the money down? And if so, are you prepared to make a $2,000 non-refundable deposit if you like the house? Right? If the numbers work out, are you prepared to do all this before I let you to see the house? And you give me the right answers, I feel good about it, then I'll let you go. But if I ask you the end buyer and you give me the let me check. Well, then I mean, I don't know. Then that kind of doesn't make me feel good about giving you and wasting time with you or giving you time. So
We've even put a couple of them under contract, and only they go out and look at the house and cancel the contract.
Yeah.
Before they give you a deposit.
Before they give you the deposit. Yeah.
So you got to go through that. That's a good thing, though. At least you got potential buyers on the other end of the line. Yeah. And while you're at it, you write down their contact information on a sheet of paper that's in my manual, incidentally. And that's where you get your buyers list. And that is if you want to put them in your buyers list. Okay, if they're calling you up and they want you to finance it for 30 years or some crap like that, they ain't going to my buyers. They're a waste of time. And if they don't have any money to speak of, they're kind of a waste of time. Doesn't hurt to put them in your buyers list. I mean, emails are free, but remember, this is the list that you're going to send to every time you get another house. So we got a buyers list that want junkers, got another one that wants nice houses. Yep. On that one, I'm interested in how much they can put down, how much they can pay per month. Okay, if they're trying to buy a $300,000 house and they got $1,000 to spend, no reason to put them on the buyers list unless you prompt them. Is that all you can get? So we don't buy them until they convince us they're ready to buy. And when I ask them, how long it'll take you to close, and they say 30 days, they're not ready to buy. They're going to put it under contract and try to wholesale it. The nerve of these people, huh? Okay. So anyway, it's just something you're going to learn very quickly. Not a big deal. All right. So we're going to wholesale this house. We'll get there. I bought it. I own this house. I actually wrote a check to buy this house because I put $10,000 in it somewhere. I don't even remember what we did to it. And I did that because I figured that would sell it a lot faster. And we're going to get 240 out of it. So I got about 200 in it. So we may net 240 if we're lucky. I mean 40 if we're lucky. So that one's going to go pretty soon. We don't usually buy houses in that area. That was way out there. Yeah. But you did mail it to them, huh?
Yeah. You know, I found that those pockets out right outside the city are actually, you get pretty quality, good calls. It's not, they're not as heavily marketed, probably not as getting many calls on their houses like that. So had some pretty good luck in Middleburg the last couple months.
Yeah, and that's a good point for you. If you live in a large city, start working in the suburbs around your city with a lot cheaper houses than where you live. And actually, we're doing the same thing. We're buying them all over Jacksonville. All right. Are we getting set up for him to go on Dreams?
Yeah, I just got to put my computer up.
All right. So we're going to make anywhere from 45 to 60. Right now, it's looking like more like the 40 or 45. So let's talk about Dreams here now. So we're going to get set up. We're going to go on Dreams Live, and he's going to show you the power of this thing in the time we have.
Yes, sir.
And then again on December 7, 8, and 9. January 7, 8, and 9. He's going to do an hour and a half demonstration all 3 days. It's not the same now. Not the same. So plan on being on all three of them. And get in Dreams right now and play with it. And you'll have a lot better questions by the time comes. Go to dreamspro.ai. Dreamspro.ai. And you can sign up for the $99 or the $297. But if I were you, I'd do the $297 if you're ready to do anything, because that's where your machine really is. That's your website. That's your buyers list site. That's your CRM site where you have the tool to do all these comps and all this repair estimate stuff that we've been discussing. And frankly, we just touched on it right now. So it's dreamspro.ai. Okay, how are we going to do this, gentlemen? Where's he going to work from?
I'm probably best to go right there. Maybe take a couple minute break real quick or something, and then we can, I don't know.
You got Mike?
I do.
All right.
Got a computer up here, and I'll get it.
All right, you guys got to go bathroom, go real quick right now.
Quick Start Real Estate School is our staple event. It is our basic training. It is where people actually learn the art of buying and selling houses without using their money or credit. And it's the beginning of the training, but it's the training that actually launches careers, because they can leave that training and go out and start doing deals immediately. And then, of course, if they want, they can grab one of our mentors to help them for 6 months and lead them step by step through the process of getting checks. It's quite an intense event. I mean, it's 4 days long, and it's long hours because we don't end until 7:30 on the first night. But the last thing that happens on that first night is that we actually call live sellers. I mean, you hear both sides of the conversations on the phone, and we have some of our mentors call these sellers from leads that the students brought in. And of course, we have a daily feed of these leads into their Gold Club site every day, so we actually get the leads for them, call them for them, so they can bring them to class. Now when they bring them to class, our mentors get on the phone and create some deals. And this is a huge benefit because some of the people who bring those leads go home with deals and literally make more money off those deals than every training we could possibly provide to them. And on the second day, the afternoon, we get into the ugly house side of the business, which is wholesaling and rehabbing and buying junkers and that whole business. We cover that during that day. And then on the third day, we actually have a brand new video now of us. A friend of mine, Jay Connor, who's renovated over 420 houses, going out into the field and going through 2 ugly houses and then through 2 houses that he's just renovated. And we go through those with a fine-tooth comb, talking about what we'd fix, how we'd fix it, what would it cost. And by the time you're through, you get a whole overview of rehabbing houses. And one of the things, of course, we addressed hard is the actual cost of what it takes to renovate a house and handling contractors and the like. We even got contractors' agreements right in the manual. The manual's about that thick, and I'm updating it constantly with the stuff you will not get anywhere else. And then on that afternoon, we talk about raising the money, private money. And then I go into some entity structuring stuff. Entity structuring is tax reduction, estate planning, because that is a part of the learning process. It's one thing to go make money, but then we have to learn how to protect it, what entities to use, how do we take title to it, and how do we set up our estate so that our stuff goes where we want it to go. And the last day is spent on selling houses on autopilot. And I do mean autopilot. Automation is built into this entire event. It's part of the learning process, and we have it all set up so when the client goes home, they're ready to do business, not have to go out and find a bunch of stuff and put it all together. And one of the really cool things we do there every single day is we take all of these property information sheets that were called during the event by our mentors, and I discuss them. So we go over them every single day on what's the next step. In fact, we even get a contract for them before they even leave to take out into the field, because literally appointments are made while they're making the calls. Then I also have Jay Connor, who comes from North Carolina and done well over 420 rehabs, but he's also the expert on getting private money from individuals, not from loan sharks. Jay helps me throughout the event as well, and they sit down with students and they work with them and they help them overcome any issues that they have, and they give them guidance and how to build their business as part of the event. You know, one of the biggest things that people get out of this is they build a big old network of nationwide relationships, because people come from all over the country when we do this live, and they get to know each other and they grab each other's information, and that creates relationships that go on for years and years and years. I've seen it happen over and over. Plus, you know, if I want somebody in LA and I live in Jacksonville, I build my list, and now I can call on that list whenever I need to. And frankly, the students get as much from the other students as they get from the teachers, because some of the people in the room are doing deals, they're doing business, because we let people come back for free to this event as many times as they want for the first year, and very inexpensive even after that. So there's a lot of good quality people. I'm constantly updating the content of this event because, you know, things change, technology changes. And I think one of the biggest benefits is the students bring stuff to me. I learn as much from them as they learn from me. And as I learn it, I add it to the content of the class. And frankly, one of the biggest benefits of people coming to a live event is that they get to sit around and talk to the other people. And the other one is that I have full attention the whole time, and I never know what you're doing when you're watching virtual. I don't know what you're doing behind that. And we can't have any fun. I can't tell jokes because I can't hear anybody laughing. we've discovered that people learn 3 times more at a live event, and they'll have a whole lot more fun at a live event than they will ever have at a virtual event. But going forward, we will still be doing virtual events, and we'll have live events mixed in. And the good news is that once you attend a virtual event, you can come to a live event at no charge, and vice versa. So you actually can get to experience them both, and you don't have to wait for a live event to come up. There's just a couple of things that one has to learn to crack the code to really turn this machine on and grow it as fast as they want to grow it. And frankly, you're not ever going to believe how much money can be made in real estate until you come spend 4 days with the old guy.
Hey, that was just me. All right, cool. Caught me off guard there. Well, welcome back.
I'm not the old guy, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just seasoned. All right, this is Adam. He's going to demonstrate as best we can in the time we got Dreams Pro.
Yep.
So we want to start at actually building a list, right?
Yep, that's why we'd start here. Let me get the mom. There it is. A little small.
Is
See if I can-
Jacksonville?
This is Jacksonville already loaded up
Yep.
there. You could change your city. You can do it by zip code, county, city, state, right there.
Yeah.
So
While you're doing it, let's pull the list we're going to mail to.
sounds good to me.
All right.
All right, so we can start here. So we got 305,000 properties. So obviously we need to get this thing narrowed down quite a bit. So I would start with the filters here. So these are those 8 lead types that you get with the first and second level. There's I'm not sure exactly what. I know absentees in that one, tax, and a few of the others. But here are those pain points here. Zombie properties like a vacant pre-foreclosure. You got
That's a zombie.
That's what zombie is. Yeah.
Pre-foreclosure.
Vacant pre-foreclosure is a zombie property.
Okay.
Vacancy, pre-foreclosure, potentially inherited. So you can pick whichever ones you like. I usually advise people to start with the low-hanging ones, pre-foreclosure, tax delinquency, vacant properties. Those are kind of the ones that are the low-hanging fruit out there. So we could start with
I don't know. We bought quite a few of them. They're occupied.
Yeah, that is true as well.
Yeah.
I like to, in this absentee owners one, I like to stack it with, so you can do anything stacked on top of an absentee owner, makes the list even that
Well,
much more.
in the world of junkers, they're usually vacant anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So we could start with tax delinquent.
Maybe.
No, free and clear.
It doesn't matter. You can put it in the stack.
Yeah,
So
right.
every time you pick one of those, this list gets smaller.
Correct. Yeah. So pre-foreclosures went from 305,000 now all down to 2,165. We're in
2,000.
Jackson. Pre-foreclosures right now
You got to be kidding me.
in Jacksonville. Yeah.
All right, we got to narrow that one down.
Narrow it down
Okay, hit vacant.
and vacant.
They'd be more motivated.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I'd hit vacant, and then I'd come back and create another list with them occupied.
Okay, we can do both.
When I think about it, a lot of foreclosures I've ever bought in my life, it's occupied.
Yeah, mainly.
Many times I'd go out and try to bid, and they always come up with, "I'm not worried, the Lord will provide," and He did. Got foreclosed on, and they moved. I used to tell them, "How do you know He didn't send me?"
Yeah, that's a good
Maybe
one.
He did. Who knows?
That's a good comeback. But the vacant pre-foreclosures narrowed it down from that 2,100 to the 142. So
142.
142.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now we got a good sized mailing list that we
Mhm.
know has got to be extremely motivated.
Correct. Yep.
So now we got that list. Did you save it?
Right here. If you want to save it, you go to your daily deal alerts here. So I would click there and I would do, I'm just going to call this one zombie because that's kind of what it is. It's vacant pre-foreclosure. So you can just do zombie jacks. So by doing this, I'm going to hit save. I'm going to continue to receive emails on a weekly basis for more properties that fit my search criteria. So any properties going forward that are vacant and enter that pre-foreclosure, I'm going to get an email that says, hey, you got 4 or 5, depending on how many searches you got. I think I have 5 searches set up right now. And last week I got over 50 different leads.
No
so
kidding.
I just put them in the
All right.
postcard and skip trace them.
I hope you guys understand what he just said. Once you build this list, save it, it's permanent, and you're going to get everything that comes that matches that list.
Yeah.
Automatically, just like we used to send you FSBO leads online, we don't have to anymore. You're going to get whole more motivated leads by just saving your search. So I can make a case, maybe you do need to do 10, 12 different searches
Mhm.
and different parameters, and now you got a lot of puppies coming at you at one time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I tell students. Get at least 5 to 7.
5 different lists.
Yeah, it's different save searches. And the way I usually do it, just quickly, as I kind of build it reverse, I'll build it by the house first. So I'll come in here and put the factors of the house. Hey, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. And then I just go ahead and add those pain points, save it, delete the pain points, add another one, save it, and it just makes it, you just expedite it quicker. So you don't have to come in here and rebuild every single time. It's just adding different layers of paint.
So on January the 7th, 8th, and 9th, you're going to do it. I want you to pull some lists for them.
Yeah, I would love it. Yeah.
Pull your list. All right, so I got the list. Now what?
So you can save them. Let me clear my leads here. This is from a previous. So let's get that. So I have a list here of 142. I'm going to come with this little arrow here. I'm going to select all. That's going to add them to my leads here. So for my leads, now lead trace is a skip trace. As you can see, it's 10 cents per hit. And as we said before, it's phone numbers, email, relatives, kind of any and all information you do need to get in contact with the seller. And if you wanted to do direct mail, just do that here, and it will prompt you to come to your direct mailing page. You can pick here how many drops do you want. So if I want to do 3 separate drops for this same list, I would just pick 3. Do you want to do it every week? Do you want to do it every 2 weeks? Or do you want to do it every 60 days or 30 days? I always say, unless you have a reason to believe maybe some states, the foreclosure process is smaller or shorter, maybe that would be a weekly or bi-weekly thing. But for the most part, I think once a month is a good.
In Florida, it takes a good 6 months to foreclose, and that's after they're filed on. In Texas, it takes 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So you probably need to mail to them about every 20 minutes in Texas.
Yeah. So you could, they don't have anything besides weekly, but if you're going to do that, like for Texas, I would definitely do weekly and then just supplement that with some calling and texting on top of it.
Stop there a minute. If you're going to master this business, folks, you got to come to grips with the fact that most of the people you come in contact with, you're never going to do business with. We're looking for the people that we sort out of that. We're looking for the minority, not the majority. So I forgot what I was going to say, but if you are going to pull a list, I strongly suggest that you skip trace it first, like the one you just pulled is $14 to skip trace it. That's 10 cents a name.
Yeah.
Spend it. Takes all the junk out, and it gets you the phone numbers. Now, what I was going to say was, this is just step 1. Okay. Once you skip trace them, now you got their phone numbers. Somebody should call them. Somebody should send them a text. At the very least, send them a text if you're afraid to get on the phone with them. But then what are you going to do when they call you back? Yeah. Okay. We got to get you over that fear quickly. And you go the whole distance. And then you can mail them a postcard or a letter. Remember, we know they have houses, but we don't know they're for sale. And so you do all these things. And now you got a good, solid marketing machine. It's going to get you a lot more deals than just one-hit wonders.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and pick monthly just for this example here. Oh, just name it. You name it, whatever. Let's see. I think we did zombie here. Okay. From here, it's going to ask you to put in your information, return address. If you want to put a website there or your email. We never really put websites, but it keeps saving it there. And put a phone number here, preferably to Pat Live or whatever answering service you're using. And then seed it here. Seeding means that you want to send every drop, you want to receive that letter or postcard just so you can have verification that A, it went out, B, how does it look? You know,
put yourself on all the lists.
Yeah. Yep.
The parameters were what for us? Minimum of 1,000 square feet, minimum of 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and where we wanted them to be. And did we put the minimum to maximum? Did we put a maximum
on the
value?
Not on this particular list, since they were vacant pre-foreclosures. We didn't in that situation.
Yeah, we don't need a maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get $1 million junker house and you can't handle it, you call we'll handle it together. Yeah.
Yep. Then you'll hit that next here, and it gives you different options here of letters. So I just pick a general seller here. Here's the pricing. Postcard 4x6, 59 cents.
That's mailed.
That's all
that's
in
everything.
Right there. Yep.
That's cheap.
69 cents for the larger, 89 cents for this one, and the letter is 99 cents. So whatever one you pick, it's a deal, honestly, for direct mail at least.
Cheap.
Yeah.
And you should pick some of each.
Yeah.
Some postcards and some letters.
And then here are the options. Again, you can pick different pain points here, but here's the general, I want to buy your house for cash, type one here with your name on it.
Now, these guys don't do the check letter, do they?
They do not. No, that's a different company. And then this is the white one. So I've used this one and these two for now. I am and you can upload your own and make your own. The reason I just had some of the other ones are just too much information on the exterior of the postcard. So I don't know if I'd want to send somebody who's has a lien on their house, something that says, hey, we can settle your divorce lien. I don't know if that's going to go over too well in the mailbox. So that's why I just would definitely stick towards, looking to settle. What does this one say? Looking to settle your divorce lien. Like, I definitely would not send something like that.
No,
right?
or you wouldn't send, we know you're in foreclosure. No.
Yeah.
I don't let them know that we know their issue until they tell us the issue when we get them on the phone.
Correct. So I just stick
Same
with
with
that
probate.
general. Any of those factors really.
We do good on probate, guys.
Yep. And let's just say here. So for the sake of that, we'll pick this one. And you don't have to have the same postcard or letter for every drop, like he said. So here's one postcard. Say the second drop, I wanted to get a letter out there. So I could just pick general. So letter, they have the handwriting like that, or just have a basic like printing. I'm looking to buy one more property in blank area. I'd like to make you an all cash offer in your house. Shoot me a quick call or text. I know it seems simple, but that's really all you need.
All it takes.
That's all you need to have on it. And we'll pick that one. And for the third drop, we'll do another postcard. Maybe we'll do the white one. So when you got your 3 drops lined up, and as you can see here on the left, they got a kind of revolving dollar amount what's going to be for all 3 drops. We'll hit next. So since we did these a month apart, you'll see that this one's first delivery, today's the 17th. So they'll be in the mailbox by next week if you do it today, 22nd to the 25th. Then second drop, you'll see there January, and then the third one will be in February. So when that's ready, all you have to do is review that, make sure everything's lined up, dollar amount $338, finish and review, and you pay for it, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. You're set for the next 3 months.
So now everything you just did, we're doing from behind our desk.
Yeah.
We don't care if it's raining or snowing outside either, do we?
I do not.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of that snow down here. do we?
No.
So, sorry, snowbirds. All right, let's go. I kind of like them to see the rehab
Okay.
cost, because that thing's cool.
Yeah, I think it's the repair estimator here. And let's just use this.
How do you got to have a credit card to use this, don't you?
It's whatever credit card's on file that you're using to pay for the monthly, it'll
Okay.
charge that same card.
All right.
So here is a repair estimator here.
Could be a debit card, though.
Or debit or credit. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, it's debit if they got bad credit. Maybe a credit card if they don't. Yeah.
So yeah, here's the repair list. If you wanted to, say you were doing a rehab and
This is cool.
you wanted to go line item by line item. So the roof, exterior. So you can say, hey, this is this particular house is 1,642 square feet. Now you can change the unit cost for whatever you like. So we know that we use $9 per square foot to estimate the cost of a roof. So I can put that $9
stop there right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got this formula from a roofer. You take the square footage of the floor, not the walls, square footage of the floor, and you multiply it times 9, and that's going to get you pretty close to what it's going to cost to replace your roof. And it should be, the actual estimate should actually be a little below that. I just did a 2,000 square foot house, times 9 is 18,000. I got it done for 15,500 because of such a simple roof. Didn't have a lot of gables and complicated stuff in. That's architectural shingles. All right, you learn all this stuff when you get to the boot camp.
Yeah. And then you can just go line by line if you wanted to do, here's a painting, right? And the manual here is, we know it's $2.5 times a square foot for a painting. So you can put that number there, calculates it. And you can just go down the list here. There's landscaping, there is fence, pool, septic, paint, interior hardwood, carpet. So every item you're going to need to do a rehab here is here. At the end of all that, it's going to give you a dollar amount.
You see luxury vinyl plank on there?
Let me find the floor. Interior tiling, carpet, and vinyl. I don't know if that's going to be in there. Vinyl or linoleum. I don't think that's it. Let's see. Maybe I don't think it's going to be under tiling. That's ceramic tile. Somewhere on here, I'm sure. Let's see.
Oh, ain't that important right now.
Yeah. It's somewhere on here. Just have to find it. But
So you use that every day, right?
no, I do not. I definitely wouldn't use this if you're trying to find a wholesale or just get a repair cost. This is something that you do when you're under contract.
This is something for thinker brains to do.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Got to dot every I, cross every T
Correct.
while we're buying and selling the house.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a cool feature to have, especially if it's your first one or first couple.
exactly.
I think it's a great tool for that. For
and
sure.
I'm going to tell you right now, whatever number it comes up with is a little high.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot.
Unless you really went through there and got the prices for every item, then you could really get an exact. But
Well, you won't get that. You come to my boot camp.
yeah. And so it gives you a cost there, and there's also another tool here that goes in line with it, kind of a rehab planner. Let me see, deal analyzer. So this deal analyzer, very similar here. You can take the square feet of the house, the ARV, after repair value, the estimated repair cost, and then your purchase price, and estimate the whole time. So how long is it going to? You estimate it's going to take you to do the rehab. You can put in the cost of the property. These are the holding costs. These are all the little costs that add up over during a rehab that the shows don't show you on TV.
That's right.
Property taxes, any condo fees, the cost of insurance, gas, utilities, escrow. This is when you buy closing costs. When you sell, there's closing costs, right? There's realtor fees. There's staging costs in there. Many marketing costs if you want to get that granular with it. If you're borrowing money from a private lender, how many points you paying? What's the percent? What's the payment? All that's calculated in here for you. So you enter in all your numbers here, and at the bottom will give you your estimated net profit if everything goes as planned here.
And it never will.
It never will. Yeah.
By the way, you should not. Your interest is going to be a cost, but it should not be a monthly payment. When you borrow money from a private lender, you let the interest accrue. You don't make payments on the house.
Got it. All right, so that's there, and then we can touch base here with the CRM. Let's just pick a contact here. So here's the CRM. As you get leads coming in, I wouldn't save every single list that you're going to skip trace into your CRM. Really, your CRM should be reserved for yes leads, or people have reached out to you and you think there's something there worth following up. So if someone were to give you a call today in a direct mail piece, you had the conversation, and hey, they want to sell, but not until next year, right? We're in December. They don't want to sell, blah blah blah. Okay, they're going to sell, but that's a good lead. It's not till January, February. I'm going to save that here for this lead, and then I can create me a task here to say, because I don't want to have to remember to call back John or whatever. So I'm just going to follow up and put a due date for that. So I'm also not going to wait till January 15th to call him, right? I want to call him first thing in January. I might even put it for the 2nd or 3rd, right? Call him on that Friday right after the new year, see where he's at. You'll be the first one, hopefully, to get in touch with him. Type. It's going to be a follow-up call. If you want any notes, you hit save. So now I don't have to worry about this lead. And when I log in on that day, the 3rd, I'm going to go to my task here, and you can view all your tasks and find out what calls you have to make today. So
We've said it, forget it.
yep. So every day you just log in here, you go to your task, and you should have may not be that many at the beginning, 2 or 3. Eventually that's going to grow to 10, 15, and 20, hopefully. Follow up leads every day you're making. And that's the way you keep organized, and you just take your notes. And because this is how you get deals right here. This is this calling, following up until eventually they make that decision that they're going to sell. And when they do make that call, hopefully your letter or your call or your text hit them at that right time, and the magic happens.
And hitting them at the right time when they're ready to make a decision is the whole key.
Yeah.
Because that's why you have to hit them multiple ways and for several months, depending on what kind of lead they are. Let's say that you can foreclose in your state and they're out in 3 months. Well, you got to put them a lot closer together than somebody that's not under that extreme pressure. So just use common sense, really. If they're Texas is the fastest one I know, but there's several states that have pretty fast foreclosures. Then there are several that have pretty long foreclosures, like Florida. I mean, it's 6 months here, and they won't even file till the 30 days late. So that's a long time. Incidentally, I haven't foreclosed on I haven't sold them with owner financing. Way back when I did, though, I hardly ever. I think I foreclosed on 2 houses in my whole life. That's just, well, one of them is because the owner died and I didn't have anybody to negotiate with. Okay. And the other one, forgot. Oh, I foreclosed on a church I had one time. They were holding church in it. And there was 4 people guaranteeing the note.
Wow.
So I had fun with that one.
Yeah.
All right. So where do you want to go to next?
Yep. I would say if you're going to get this today, like you should here, and if you have any questions, I would always go to this knowledge. I mean, you can always reach out from phone or email, but I do like to point out the knowledge base here. So if you have a question regarding anything, even what skip tracing is, for example, you can just type that in the knowledge base here, and it's going to give you a video or some sort of guide to show you how to skip trace. And
There's a video for about anything you want to do on here.
Correct. Yep.
It's all built within the system. And then again, you're going to go through this with them on the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Correct. There's also some financing option here, I believe. If you, this is the company that we use, Nick, right? I forget the company here, but this is what you were looking for, a pre-approval letter or whatever. You know what I'm talking about or no? No, my bad.
Now I want to make a point. Guys, this is not the Gold Club site. That's a totally separate site.
Yeah.
But it's built within your 99 or 297 package that you're buying here. You get all the Gold Club stuff, which is, I mean, you can spend hours and hours on there every day if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And then this is your CRM. And the deal finder that he went over is part of this Dreams Pro. So what we did is we took the fee just for the Gold Club and just put it right in your 99 and your 297 package. So you only got one package to pay for. Now, that does not include Pat Live. We don't own them. You set up your own account with them. It's $199 a month for 250 minutes of a human being answer the phone 24 hours a day. What a deal that is. Trust me, what a deal. Okay. So you got systemization coming, taking your phones. You got your website, part of your system, and now you got your CRM and Dreams Pro. You got a complete system buying and selling, regardless of what you want to buy and sell.
Yes, sir.
Cheap, really cheap.
And then there's also this cool email autoresponder here. So say you get a lead and you want to add them to get some automated emails from you, and you can customize these and add or delete any drops you want. And so the lead comes in, hey, nice speaking with you today. So, looking to sell your property. You're basically drip campaigning the email here. And you can customize these to what you want. Hey, are you still interested in selling? Hey, did you forget about me? Any kind of messaging you want to put on there, you can drop it every few days, however often you want to make it. So that's another way to just automate the business, so you're not having to manually keep in touch with all these leads. It's just done on autopilot for you as well. So,
and
cool tool.
When the VAs call your leads, they put it right on here.
Yep.
For you. And they would not, I don't want anybody to think that the VAs are going to call 100% of your, they'll call 100% of your leads, but they won't get 100% of them to pick up the phone. Getting them to pick up the phone is the hardest job they got out there right now. But the percentage of them that do pick up the phone is going to rely on the source of the lead. People who call you and you call them back are going to pick up way higher than just somebody you're chasing with a house on the internet. So everything starts with your list. The list is the most important part of any direct mail campaign. Always has been. Cleaner you can get the list, the better results you're going to get, the less pieces you got to mail.
And I'm trying to think of anything else we can touch on. Your websites here. The VA can set you up your websites here and link it directly to Dreams as well. And the opt-in forms, you can have a survey as well if you wanted to have it on your website or here. You can connect the survey to your website, which will filter in the leads from your website and directly into your CRM, so you're not having to manually put those in as well and keep track of them. And then you can also set up a flow to have them start getting emails automatically as they come into the CRM, so you don't have to do that. that's another cool feature. And then the marketing library here, I'd like to point people to this. Just as all the postcards they have, all the letters they have, so you can kind of go through them and pick and choose. And again, if you wanted to create your own, or you could definitely have that option as well.
Geez, that's a lot of letters.
It is a lot of letters. Yep. There's just some of them are just hard to read. That's why I said if you want to make your own, but someone's like, this is hard to read, right? If I was going to send that in the mail, it's a tough one just to read. So
Yeah, on there.
yeah.
Of course, the men are going to want to create new pieces and put it on there, right?
Yes, sir.
The last thing a man's going to do is something that's already working. We got to fix it, don't we,
I
guys?
was just talking to you earlier
Yeah.
about making my own.
Oh yeah, let me see these.
Yeah, there's just some brochures here
Better look.
if you like to send. And they also have some yard signs here, real estate agent, contractor, avoid foreclosure, sell
Really?
your house.
Well, oh, you mean for a printer to?
Yeah, I don't think these are bandit signs. I think they are, what do they call them? Yeah, I guess yard signs, but I think it looks like you need to have that stake or whatever.
Well, they don't print them, do they? I mean, they don't make the signs, do they?
That's a good question. I can find the answer to that. I don't know if you
Imagine.
just print them off here or they actually make them. That's a good question. I can find out that.
You do need to find that out.
Yeah, I'll have an answer
They
for
might
that
do them cheap.
by by January.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of just an overview there. I mean, I can keep going until more and more in depth, depending on what you want to check out.
Let me ask them. All right, guys, take a look at the screen right here, and you tell me which ones are hard to read and which ones are easy to read. Oh, another thing I didn't tell you. Don't ever use all caps. Initial caps only, never all caps. All caps are hard to read, and they're shouting at you. So just take a glance at which one of those cards stands out to you the most. Which one stands out to you?
The bottom row for sure. One of the blue one and the left, the bottom blue one. We buy houses is pretty clear. The other one, that yellow one, seems real cluttered up there.
That yellow one is definitely cluttered.
Yeah.
But those are initial caps. Thinking about them driving by, I'm not going to read that sign that quick. No, I don't like that light green letter or sign for sure.
Yeah, this one here.
But you see the red one? To me, the red one pops out.
Yeah.
But I mean, that don't mean I'm going to have the word avoid on it. That word probably should be cash,
Okay.
and cash for your home and the phone number.
Yeah.
I think they're just giving you prototypes to send to the sign shop, but I would like to know.
Yeah, I'll find that out for sure.
All right.
And yeah, I don't know if anybody had any questions or if you're taking questions or it's just
We ready for questions, guys? Okay. All right.
we'll do.
Then come back at 5 after 3. We're done when we take questions today. 5 after 3. I know that only gives me 8 minutes. Quit whining about it. Just go pee and come back.
Family, married. I do this business actually with my husband, and I have a almost 3-year-old daughter. And I actually, before Ron's World, I was in sales, but I was looking for a way to build the family as well faster, and purchase more properties. And so when I found Ron, well, my husband actually found Ron, and then I came on board a year later, and he just blew my world away.
I entered Ron's World. I went to a one-day. I had heard so much about Ron, and I always wanted to see him. I actually couldn't believe he was live. When he walked in, I was blown away. I had no idea that for some like $59 event that they fed me lunch and Ron was there. I came into Ron's World probably around 100,000 in debt. I sit here today as a millionaire. Anybody who says they can't do it, they're wrong.
This past July is when I first saw Ron for the first time in person. He was having an all-day Saturday seminar, and it was free. And I was like, oh, those seminars are never free. So I'm going to go with him. And I was like, I'm committed. I signed up for everything. I'm like, whatever he's got, I'm all in, I'm 100%. And whatever Ron says, I'm going to do.
I went to a wealth building seminar where Ron LeGrand was speaking, and my wife said, You need to listen to this guy. I went to his Ugly House seminar, and it was as if, as a real estate agent, my wife is a licensed real estate agent, it's as if he took my head, opened my head up, and scrambled my brains, and told me that I could buy houses for myself, and that I didn't have to take every deal to the broker, that I could sell houses for myself. I could use my knowledge. And it opened up a whole new world for me.
But yeah, when I decided to become serious, I decided I went to Texas on this last quick start, redid it. I joined the master's program, and I also joined the mentoring program a month prior to that. So I'm all in.
He told me about Ron's $1 Gold Club. So I had $1, so I signed up to the Gold Club, and I started watching all the videos I could possibly watch until I was convinced that it would work for me, because I'm an entrepreneur. Shiny object syndrome guy. I've looked into making money recycling pallets. We've sold, you name it. We've sold all kinds of things to try to make ends meet.
The first event we went to, San Antonio,
Love San Antonio.
2016, and we dove in the pool. We walked out of there with our masters, everything.
Yep, the day two we said,
mastering.
Realtor said, we've got to do this masters.
Yeah.
This is a 1-year program. Got to do masters, and we did it. We just dove ahead.
We did it in a year. We worked hard. We were
It was
determined
great.
we were going to do this.
Here's the thing that I love about Ron's training, because before finding Ron, we had tried different courses, different stuff in wholesaling, for example, stuff in fix and flips, and just different guru trainings. And what I love about Ron's is, as a master, I can come back as many times as I want. And now it's virtual, so I don't have to fly somewhere to get little tidbits. But what is the most impactful for me is, I can ask questions and Ron answers them.
I guess if I had to point to one thing, it would be the fact that he has invested the time and effort and has the longevity, that his programs are just more complete.
At Ron's events, he has these live seller calls, and they're real leads. Students bring in their leads, and some of them were like, really, they're not too good leads. Said, no, they don't want to sell their house on terms, and they get sometimes turned into a yes, and they turn into a deal. And Ron will have the mentors help these students, and then go on stage with all the deals that came up, and sometimes there's a phenomenal number of deals that have been made during the event. Students walk away with deals, and they're all of a sudden they're in the real estate business.
All I knew is bring a lot of leads, because that's what my husband told me. And so I brought a lot of leads, the mentors called them, and then I actually ended up getting, I think, 2 appointments, my first 2 appointments from that. And it was just huge, because it was proof right away that, hey, this works, the system works.
But I was very impressed with the way that the mentors handled the calls in the session, on stage, live, in front of people.
I sat in the hot seat yesterday.
Okay,
I sat
good.
in the hot seat with Ron yesterday.
Okay, so it looks like 3 potential deals.
3 potential deals. Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
So I'm excited about those.
The other value of seeing mentors up there doing live calls, just can't deny it. These are live calls, and each mentor is a little bit different in how they engage the phone. So you can sort of watch some of that and go, hey, I sort of like that style, and then it helps you to create your own style as well. And it's very inspiring to see them doing that as well.
Right, for sure.
And the deal structuring is huge, right? Because you have a deal in front of you, and you don't know what to do with it.
Seeing those numbers makes a real difference, because if you're not familiar with the way it works, you get to see it. Ron just breaks it down, your cost and what you're going to get on the front end, the inter-all non-refundable option deposit, and your monthly. It really, you're right, it just really makes sense, especially to guys like me who's a thinker brain. I needed to see things in action.
The deal structuring, the deal negotiating and then the deal structuring is awesome. You can see in real life how it should go.
What I like about Ron is that he's direct, to the point, no BS, fits my personality because I don't need any of this food to make me feel good.
Ron is also a big teddy bear. I was appointed the Grouch monitor at one of the first events, and I was petrified, but I screamed out Grouch, and at one point, and he's like, "Yeah, I deserve that."
Well, I think Ron is very thorough, and with his teachings, it's easy to follow.
My impression of Ron, he's a character, and he loves doing what he's doing. But he is not frivolous. He's not selling huge, unattainable dreams.
First of all, Ron, he's come from the school of hard knocks. He's been through it all. He's seen it all, and yet he pretends he hasn't seen it all. He still has new ideas. He sees things and gets creative about new ideas. And he's funny in the class sessions where he seems like comes off kind of gruff sometimes. He can tell people things, but man, that guy has a heart of gold. He's a big teddy bear, and he loves people. He loves people to be successful.
If you want to be helped, here's a place where you can be helped by an honest man who only wants to help people become successful. And I've known that about Ron for 20 years. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent all the money that I have. I earned way much more money than what I've ever spent with Ron.
Guys, I'm Alton Jones, and I'm from Southern California, and I'm a full-time real estate investor. My wife Rocio and I run a rehabbing operation in Southern California where we locate, identify houses to fix up and sell for profit. Just a few short years ago, I ran across Ron LeGrand through some information I got from someone else, and I thought about, well, maybe I should get a little bit of training to figure out maybe I can make more money in my business. And at the time, I really didn't know a lot of stuff about systems and automation and coaching and mentoring, and I felt that I needed some help because I was at my wit's end being able to get through that process. My background is that I was a policeman, for 30 plus years working the LA City streets in LAPD, and it was a great job. I loved it, but it wasn't going to make me wealthy, and I really wanted to change my life for the better. And after getting shot at so many times, but not getting hit, of course, it was a life-changing decision. So I felt that I needed to get more training. So coming to a Ron LeGrand event, I flew all the way from Los Angeles to Orlando, Florida. I spent 4 days with Ron LeGrand learning some techniques and strategies on how to acquire property and how to evaluate those properties and how to sell those properties for profit. Not just the cash flow, but also for money you can make up front, money you can make in the middle, and money you can make on the back end. And I learned a new language of real estate. And I tell you, Ron LeGrand has been a very key instrumental person to help me develop myself, and now I'm helping others to develop themselves in business. And now it is a system that we follow that you're able to go out there, locate, identify properties, hire the right type of people, put teams together, and then automate it to where you can step back and let the process take place and unfold, and that way you can reap the benefits of it. It's okay to make money while helping others in the process, and we feel that we're creating win-win situations all the way around. But it wouldn't have happened had I not come to a quick start boot camp with Ron LeGrand, and he's doing these things every month, doing a 4-day boot camp. And I encourage, if you ever haven't been to one, you should get to one. And then once I've done that, I went to the school and got the training. I then had a mentor who can help guide me for 6 months of being able to identify areas where I can improve my business. So we're having fun. Our life has changed. Our kids' life has changed. And we've changed so many other people's lives by having this information. And hopefully you can take advantage of it as well. And we'll see you at the top, because the bottom is too crowded.